What's going on? You right where you need to be with the one and only Spilly G. Man, what's going on, y'all, man? So Judge Joe Brown, hey man, he dropping something. He dropping some knowledge, man. But I remember I used to have a friend. We talked one time about it. It was like, dang man, the guys that go do 10, 5, 20 years, especially, like, do they really do something that the world will just never know? And I'm not knocking them if they do. This is what I'm saying. Don't go to jail. Try to stay clean, man. Just do the right thing. The slow way. Don't listen to these girls. And let me tell you, that girl ain't gonna do that time with you. You know what I'm saying? So you go out there trying to be a scammer so you can get new stuff and not have to work. Remember, jail is in the midst. You know what I'm saying? Scammers don't normally go to jail for that long, but more vicious crimes, you may be going to jail for a long time. He's saying if you've been in there 14 months, you're probably gay. So let's get to it. It's a deep conversation, but he's saying, let me let him go on and tell it. Then we're gonna get to the Tina Turner thing. Judge Joe Brown, man, he put belt to ass, man. I'm gonna put it like that. Judge Joe Brown don't spare none. But let's see what's going on with him. Let's see what he got to say.
Ability that they contact some type of disease along with mental damage
This in
from
Tennessee.
that traumatic experience. How does released inmates who have been raped impact the physical and mental health of the communities they return to?
Okay, I'll talk about that. Memphis, and at the time I was on a bench in Memphis. Memphis had the dubious distinction of being number 5 an absolute number of charges that were prosecuted. It was Los Angeles, two CDC, the Centers for Disease Control, sent a special hit team to Memphis of the extremely high incidence of HIV that had developed in the penal system in Memphis. Memphis has, or Shelby County, where Memphis is located, has the dubious distinction of having more inmates than any other county in the entirety of the United States. It's got a federal maximum security facility, a state medium and minor facility, and county facilities and juvenile facilities. Well, I wound up being the administrative judge for the criminal court, so I was in charge of what was going on. And what came out, thanks to a sister who went astray, Kath.
I know this off subject, but that's a bad coat, man. The man got on a fur coat. It's not even fur, it's like a slick cow coat. But anyway, you talking Jews. Let's get back to it.
Catherine Bowers, now deceased, she got a legislative act passed that required that somebody 18 to 25 who was locked up, sentenced, would have to be tested for STDs upon registration in the institution and upon release. So what CDC found out was that you were having 4 to 6% going in HIV positive, and after 3 months, 90 days, you were getting somewhere around 64, 66%
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy.
HIV positive.
Hold on, fire. You said it went from 4% to 60 something
Yeah,
percent?
because what was going on is if somebody had been incarcerated for 9 months, there was a 92% probability that they had engaged in either voluntary or involuntary homosexual contact with some other inmate. The bad problem is that what was going on in, say, Memphis is in certain areas of Memphis, you had a situation where 9 out of every 11 male blacks between 18 and 29 were not just on probation or parole, but were actually incarcerated. So what wound up happening is you had 11, no, you had 8 out of every 13 females in the same group had the problem. But what was going on is the 2 out of 11 that had already done time were out there dealing with the remaining 4 women out of that group who were not on probation or parole. Typically, women didn't get the time, they got put on probation or parole more so than the guys. So you had a massive HIV problem. And I would have every last Thursday in the month reserved for petitions to suspend remainder of sentence, where people were locked up in the county system where I still had jurisdiction. So
Looking for an easier way to get that LLC next to your business name? Say hello to Taylor Brands. You just go to their site, enter your LLC.
I can remember one instance where I had like 23, 24 people applying for petition to suspend remainder of sentence on this one particular Thursday. And 11 of them were interesting because I'm reading their reports and they had each had homosexual contact with each other, and all of them were HIV positive. So their defense lawyers wanted to approach the bench and ask me as the court not to publish this. I said I'd take it under advisement. Now I'm listening to all of these women come in and they wanted their man back so they could take up habitation with him again and, set up the family. So instead of dealing with them one at a time, I dealt with all of them and reserved ruling. And I called all of these women back up. I was pretty good with names then. So I said, Miss Thompson, Miss Jackson, Ms. Willis, Miss So-and-so, would you please come back to the uh, bar there? Said, now each of you has indicated that you wish to take back up with the individuals you have testified in support of. Is that correct, ma'am? Ma'am. So, okay. The court has been asked not to reveal this, but the court must, in the interest of public safety, disclose to you the fact that each of these individuals that you have testified in support of is HIV positive. 4 of them have active cases of AIDS. And that means, and one of them says, oh, hell no, ma'am, please. What that means is if you have sex with them, you are dead. There is no known cure. This is like 93, 94. And the court feels that it must apprise you of the danger. See, but that was a regular.
That's wild, bro. Bro, this why black culture, bro. The more I get deep into it, bro, this new black culture. I'm not talking about the old. Salute to the old black culture, man. But, bro, this new shit, we got to do better, bro. We actually glorify going to prison, and most of these folks is doing bad, bro. Get a job, take the slow way, stack your money, invest. Ain't nothing good by killing your neighborhood. I used to be one growing up because I was following dummies leading dummies. Bro, come on, man. That's so sad, bro. Then you poisoning your own women, poisoning your own community. You think you real. Man, go sit down somewhere.
Thing. So you're looking at all of these people that are going for bad, and they've been booty busting each other.
Yep.
And see, not only that, there was another thing too, which dealt with rape. What was happening was very interesting. I'm not talking about these cases where it was a dispute over somebody said they were going to pay somebody's rent. So somebody got mad when they didn't and accused them of rape. I'm talking about when you had an actual rapist. And this has been going on longer than when I was on the bench because I was a criminal defense lawyer. So I would have somebody that, got a bogus case somebody's mad at him and then they recant the rape accusation. And then I've got the ones that I know actually did something. All right. Invariably, what happened to them that I knew from being their defense lawyers and what I had as a continuing situation that I had to deal with as a judge was that somebody was walking along the streets in the projects and 4, 5, 6 guys jumped him. They stuck a pistol to his head and they just knocked him out and drug him into an abandoned apartment in the projects. And they hadn't lost the taste for what was going on in the jail. And they raped him.
Hold on, you talking about dudes raping dudes on the street?
Yeah. So they rape him.
Wow.
And as a matter of vengeance, to scapegoat somebody else, he would rape a woman later. Now, the other thing I knew from being a defense lawyer for a long time was this. You'd get these idiots that weren't raised right. So mama would come in at 15 when he was 15 and retain you to represent him in juvenile proceedings. So it'd be money coming in, pay your secretary, pay your rent, and all of your expenses and stuff like that. So by the time this guy got 18, 19, mama wasn't paying so much anymore. He'd have 4 women come in. So you're getting money from 4 women, different women, to represent him. Okay. He'd do his first serious time where he'd actually do 9, 10, 11, 12, 14 months and get out. The next time you saw him, it wouldn't be the 4 women. It would be 1 or 2 women and 3 dudes that were paying for him. And it was funny because over and over again, what would happen is the women would come in a month or two. Lloyd Brown, I want my money back. Well, you can't get it back. I've signed on the jacket. What's the problem? That no good, Jamal. Look, let me tell you something. I started noticing all my Kotex were gone. And then I figured out, what is butt bleeding like that for? And then I found out he was dealing with these 4 sissies down at the other end of the hallway in the same building I'm in, and then coming down trying to deal with me.
So, Judge, there's a real scary part to it because I'm not saying all. I don't want to be clear, right? But there are a lot of women within our community that have a infatuation with people who are in and out of prison.
I know. So if you're dealing with that, remember, 92% probability if they've been in there for 14 months that they've had voluntary or involuntary homosexual conduct or contact. Sag, bagged, and dragged is a good indication. Your pants holding down. First time I saw that was 1980. It was July. My law partner had died behind some mess representing some people in the drug cartel. All right. So I had filed for this delayed appeal on one of his clients that I was appointed to handle. All right. It's 105 degrees. This is the main penitentiary up in Nashville, and the air conditioning get broken down in the attorney-client visitation room. So if you didn't mind being out on the yard with them, they'd let you interview them out in the yard. So I've got a yellow tablet, and I'm out there taking notes on this guy's delayed appeal. So I looked up, and I saw somebody with pants hung down off his behind and a loose shirt tied in a knot in the front. So what the hell is that? And ordinarily, since they can't wear belts, these guys get these tailored jeans and stuff. He said, "Oh, Lawyer Brown, it's like this, man. You mean the dude with his pants hung down like that, man?" It's like, look, all of us up in here doing long time of life, man. We got everything up in here except some soft booties. So we making them. That's man pussy over there. See, he doing short time, so that's the signal to everybody to bust him out, turn him out. See them over there with the dresses and the wigs and the weaves? We gonna turn them into that. So see them trees over there with his pants like that, man. When the guards ain't around, we bend them down, pull them down, get down. And when he on the block, man, like we don't let him wear his pants, man, and he don't get to wear no panties. That shirt, that be his dress, man. We already done made him some jewelry up in metal shop, and Jamal got his baby sis sending him some mascara, rouge, lipstick, eyeshadow, and plastic nails. we girling dude out. So in the 1980s, when you were sagged and bagged, that meant you're doing short time, turn him out, make the booty wide open so anybody can do it. By the 1990s, it had morphed into that person belongs to somebody important. And you saw all these dudes getting buffed out from pumping iron. That's so if anybody was busting them out, it was by choice rather than just taking it. So you get all these folk, the lower the sag, the cooler the dude. No, you just look like you've been booty busted off in the joint. This has been going on for 45, 44 years. So what is it that is being shown? See, this thing spreads through the black community. It spreads through.
Kids, I hope y'all watching this, man. I hope y'all really understanding this gangster persona, all this BS these rappers and all these folk try to put out to you and your little homeboys in the hood. This the big part that they leaving out right here. This the big part.
Through the mainstream community.
To the point where it's seen cool as doing time.
Yeah. Like, man, you don't understand. Earl, man, tell Jamal, man, he don't know what time it is, man. He got to do his time for, it's a man thing, so you got to understand. No. Why do you say you have to be in the slave quarters before you can understand manhood? That's because you've never dealt with a man. Exactly. See, everybody that's being a man got a job. He a little raggedy. His car is not cool. And mama's sitting up there. Look here. Mama done give you all this good loving. I know you got something for me. And then he comes by there. You better hurry up. You better get what you going to get. You ain't going to wallow up in this for that little piece of change all night long. And he hardly got up and wiped himself off, got to his ride, parked behind the dumpster, and he's left. And mama's on the phone, baby, you know that ring you wanted down in American loan? Well, mama needs some good loving. You come over here tonight, give mama some good loving. We go shopping tomorrow. So the kid is watching somebody hustle his mama. Mama willingly gets hustled. And the guy that's got the job acting like a man, he's looking down on him. So I had a remarkable achievement, which was the statewide recidivism rate was universally about 80%. In my courtroom, it had dropped down to 18, and it was dropping when I retired in 2000. And what I was doing was showing these boys manhood and duty, honor, obligation, accountability. And 25 years later, 30 years later, I get folk walking up to me with a lot of gray hair. Judge, you remember me? No, I don't. Well, you gave me some time. Did I give you enough? Yeah, but it was that manhood thing. I'm a grandfather now, and all my grandchildren, I make them stay in school. I don't pay any play that. You in school. And all my children are doing all right. And I've been married for 27 years. I want to thank you for what you did making me a man. And see, when you get people wanting to be a man, they don't tolerate all of this BS that everybody else says is normal. Well, not everybody, but too many say is normal because they've been propagandized. See, it used to be, well, Hillary Clinton bastardized something. She said, it is the responsibility of the village to raise the children. All right? That's a takeoff from a Yoruba proverb that says, O warrior or hunter, fear not if you die in the cause of your people, because your sons will be raised to manhood by your village to take your place. Manhood, not just raising children. And you see, our whole society now has been corrupted by toxic masculinity. And that comes from the late 60s when I used to hear all across the country, Black Student Alliance, we travel around and you'd hear these speeches about toxic masculinity. All masculinity is toxic and evil. Therefore, we must do something to change the way boys are raised to men. So you have unisex child rearing, unisex child clothing. Boys play with dolls, no war toys, cap guns, water pistols, or anything like that. It's all right for boys to cry, to be emotional. And the last damn thing you need is an emotional
Human.
edition of the apex predator on the planet Earth that kills better than anything else walking, flying, or swimming or slithering through the countryside.
That was deep, man. That was one, man. And shout out to that brother, man. Let me make sure I shout him out and put him in there. His what's his YouTube, man? That brother's YouTube is I never knew TV. I never knew TV. Dope brother, man. Dope brother, man, for even dropping that. Judge Joe Brown, dope, for even letting that be known. You see, if we knew this earlier, if we knew the truth earlier, if everybody had stopped sugarcoating shit, making us think, oh, it's cool to be gangster. Oh, it's cool to be this. Bruh, these folks are doing bad, bruh. And they want misery loves company. Remember that. A miserable dude, just look at him. Don't respond. If he come up close to you, defend yourself. If he come up, put his hands on you, defend yourself. But all that talking, let them folks talk. They miserable. They usually broke. They usually got going through 100 things because they don't have no self-control. And then you'll end up with the booty bandage, man. I'm trying to tell you, bro. And only a few gonna keep it real. I done had partners do time. 10 years, 3, 4. Each of them said it was gay shit going on. Once they got real comfortable with me, each of them said gay stuff was going on, bro. Will they ever admit it was them? Who knows? Let's get into this other one. This Tina Turner one, man, that George Joe Brown was dropping game, man. He was dropping game, man. And what they want to do is make the they got an agenda for masculine men of any race. Of any race. They got an agenda for that. So they want to cancel us out. Any masculine man who work, who handle business, who just a stand-up guy. They want to cancel us out, man.
Do you waste time building the work schedule every week? Do employees ever miss a shift? Does the work schedule ever change?
Gotcha.
How can Will Smith be a punk while the judge big up Ike Turner? Explain that. Exclamation.
Did what?
He wants me to ask you, how can you say is a punk, but at the same time you big up Ike Turner? He's calling you a hypocrite.
Will Smith is a fucking punk. You little sissy ass punk.
Well, he says, how can you compliment Ike Turner and not call you? Shouldn't you be calling Ike Turner a punk?
Has been badmouthed by this Hollywood. Ike Turner, I grew up where Ike Turner was an icon in our neighborhood because he always stopped with his homeboy, brought fries and hamburgers and Cokes, and would sit there and talk to us youngsters for 2-3 hours at a time, telling us to stay straight, focus on school, get a decent career together, act like you've got some sense, treat women with respect, treat your communities with respect. Tina Turner drove around in a matching Rolls Royce, and if you made the bad mistake of confusing the two vehicles, she'd roll the window down, cuss you out, spit at you, tell you you weren't worth a goddamn, and she would treat you like dirt. How else would I do that? Okay, fine. One particular anecdote, personal eyewitness, ears heard, went to a picnic, family style picnic, not picnic, barbecue, 4 houses down from where the Turners live. Ike was down doing his gardening. He put his trowel down, wiped his hands over, came over and talked to the young men, including me. We all played football for Dorsey High, asked us how the team was doing, talked stuff to us, told us to be in school. He went back, that witch Tina Turner came out the door, started cussing at him. He started talking to her saying, please, there are children around. Stop that. She wasn't mad at him about a woman. She was mad at him because he had a writer's block on a song they were working on. She wound up coming out and hitting him as hard as she could, it looked like, with one of these heavy cast iron head rakes. We thought she'd done him some serious harm. Yeah, we saw that. I saw her when she was standing.
Hey man, say man, I believe the judge, bro. I believe the judge. Hey, he could. I don't see a judge lying about that, and I can see that in Tina, man. I can see that in Tina.
In line in Ralph's Market on Crenshaw Boulevard at the railroad tracks. There were 4 little high school girls went to Dorsey. I was in college, a senior at the time. Tina was standing in front of them. One of them got the nerve. Tina turned around and called her a sleazy, greasy bitch. Don't ever talk to me unless I give you permission. The girls started crying. That's why I don't have any respect for that woman, because Hollywood sat there and tried to run a game on Ike. Ike and his new wife were in front of me for 2 arbitration proceedings. You know what for? Because they had a foundation to help out abused women. What it was about is if the woman signed a contract, they would give her money to escape from the abuse. If she went back, she owed a repayment on what was a loan. If she left, it was a gift. That's what it was about, because Ike Turner was an upstanding man, and that sleazy heifer. Oh, and I don't even talk about what she used to do when she was a pimp in Memphis. And when I got here back in the early 70s and I started getting clients.
Damn, Tina Turner was a pimp in Memphis. I can see that like a madam. And hey, Memphis, he got some real pimping, man, going on, man.
Who were scared of that person because she was a gorilla pimp. Yeah. Let's talk about that. That's how I can talk about a real man who stopped every time he got over and over and would talk to all of the young boys in the hood about being straight, getting your studies together, paying attention to being crime-free, and listening to your parents and being something in life. Yeah, I talk about that punk-ass Will Smith doing that unmanly BS, and I support a person that helped myself and a lot of other black boys become men and deal with listening to what he was telling us about manhood and respect. And I saw him act with respect, and I saw that witch that Hollywood made into a prototype for a feminist mad woman act exactly the opposite. That's why I have respect for Ike Turner, because he helped so many of us stay straight and true.
Well said.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that was for Big Jack.
All right. So, hey, man, I wasn't there. I wasn't there in the flesh, but I know characteristics. And you can analyze. I study people a lot. You can analyze people off just how they look and how they carry themselves. You really can. If you go deep into analyzing different types of people, you got cerebral people, like thinkers. You got muscle people, they're like workers. You got most entertainers, they'll call them what's the word? Theatrices or something like that. Most time they're beautiful people, very aggressive. They're entertainers. They like to entertain people. They can't really be alone. That's another character type you could just learn by analyzing people, just by looking at them. So most celebrities have that short-tempered, naturally attractive people, you know. And it's 5 character types, but I may do a video on that. But I couldn't see that. I don't see Judge Joe Brown as a lying man. He's pretty much straightforward. Usually, most stern judges they have nothing to lie about. They done convicted some of the world's most toughest people, or just high risk people, we'll say, and the most emotional people. Let's say that. But yeah, man. Hey, I can see it. Who knows, man? Y'all stay up the big way, like, comment, and subscribe. I hope you like this video. If you made it to the end, thank you. Man, come on, subscribe. Come be a part of the Spilly Nation, man. Don't hey, get on it wide slow. When you pick up, hey man.